born at 25 weeks, I believe. It's just a sad thing. I think her husband, was not faithful. Her first husband was not faithful to her. So, now this, with Lamar Sally, and I don't know if you guys remember, but their whole marriage and the story of how they met and all this stuff aired on the Sound Network, and I thought they actually had been married long than 3 years, but it's just 3 years. But I feel so bad for her because I thought if anybody was gonna make it, they would.
So, of course, we're going to have a lot more on that for you all too, people.
Yeah. And then, it's one thing to be pregnant and carrying the child, but they're going through a surrogate, and now, you're fighting over this child, and, and then the last thing that was out today, I read, he is also trying to get some type of order to basically state, that she doesn't even get to take the child home or take the baby home from the hospital after it's been born.
Yeah, so that made you really want to know what is really up with. Is something really wrong with Sherri in the head? Like, is there something secretly that we don't know about her that's going on? So that makes me wonder even more.
Oh, you never know. He could just be dirty,
Exactly.
Because again, she's the one making the money. He was a writer, and I think, writing shows and stuff like that, but he hasn't written anything in years, so she was the one making the money and carrying the load, so, I don't know, I think, he just may be dirty and greedy.
Exactly, so, we shall see how this whole thing plays out.
I just don't believe if she was that deranged, she would, be on The View.
Yeah.
And doing all these, radio shots and stuff that she has. I think he just, with the money that she probably makes from The View and the different things, she has like a wig line and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He probably sees dollar signs.
Yeah. So, we're going to keep them lifted up in prayer in the prayer box at church in the morning.
And he lifted up in prayer, too.
Yes.
I may not be able to find no love after 40 years old.
Well, it works for Mimi, so it can work for you, too. But moving on to Willow Smith now. She's been a young thought and trainer for a minute now. She has some very out there parents. How you doing? And she so she might be following in their footsteps in the crazy department on the low because she was just in bed with what's his name? When I think of his name, I think of a sushi dish. I always forget his name though, because I always know his name that's his characters on the TV shows. But I never know his real actual name. I just know he's a midget who's 20 years old.
He's was on the star of a Disney show.
Yeah, he was on Hannah Montana. He was on Hannah Montana. I forgot his name on the show too, but he was the little midget on the show. He was the little midget in some Disney Channel movies. He was the little midget on another Disney Channel show. He's always basically the little midget, but he's older than he actually is. Like that boy that Bob, whatever his name is, the one that be the little black midget, but he's really like 50 years old. But he
the one that played the what was it on that damn struggle ass Tyler Perry? And they had got down.
Yeah. Him.
And his tail Tracy Morgan show. You know talk about the dark skinned boy.
Yeah, him. Yep. So anyways, they took a picture and they posted it on social media, and her looking like her daddy in Shark Tales with them big ass ears and that low cut buzz cut, looking like real stud like her mama. Shout how carpet licker in the future. But she was basically laid up on his lap and stuff like that, and people was taking offense to it, and because she's only, how old is she, like 13?
Yeah, I think she's like 13 years old. Too damn young for that.
Yeah, so
and that boy no better.
Exactly. So, shout out to statutory rape real quick. But, hey, I guess it's consensual. It is what it is. And, moving on to another story, too, real quick. The Wu-Tang member. Now, we're going to talk about him for a little second now. The Wu-Tang member that cut off his penis, Andre Johnson, or Christ Bearer, whatever his name is this week. Killer Bees. He goes by so many different names, people. But he basically said that he started to smoke weed, and then he read a book about monks and vasectomies. So he felt like his world was collapsing, and with the thoughts of kids and vasectomies in his head, he decided to take matters to his own hands, and he cut the penis off, and he tried to jump out the window. So I don't think that's how vasectomy is supposed to work, sir. To cut your penis off, there's other ways of going actually around that to cut the seed off, but you just took it upon another level. So he did say that there was a happy ending. So there was word that he wasn't able to get his penis attached back to him, but he did get his manhood attached back to him via plastic surgeons, and he has regained full functionality, though he might not be able to have kids. Basically, he won't be able to have kids. Like, let's not play dumb, people. He won't have kids because he cut his penis off, and now it's like a plastic lambskin penis on his area. So he and he's basically not fucking with Wu-Tang anymore too. So he's no longer an affiliate of Wu-Tang Clan. He's crazy people. We gotta do better for you all. Y'all can't keep being crazy all on the show. Y'all gotta, we gotta keep crazy people lifted up in prayer too, people. We gotta keep them lifted up in prayer on the altar, because, well, they keep us entertained. They keep the show going, so we won't give them any bad feelings. They keep us going on the show, so it is what it is. And another person we gotta keep lifted up in prayer too, because he's just crazy in the head too, people. Chris Brown. Now, Chris Brown, he appeared in court on May 9th, and he will be spending more time behind bars. Now, a judge has ordered him to remain in jail for another 131 days. He appeared in the LA courtroom where he admitted that he violated his probation by getting into a fight in Washington, D.C. last year. After the pictures leaked out earlier this week. He had no choice, but he put a Rihanna on that boy. So, hey, it is what it is. So, so the judge, James R. Brandlin, sentenced Brown to serve 1 year in custody, but gave him credit for the 234 days he already spent in rehab in jail. So it's possible he will be released earlier due to jail overcrowding. And he also faced up to 4 years in prison, but the judge took into consideration his recent bipolar diagnosis, which could have attributed to some of the violence. Y'all, please stop. And the judge also ordered him to attend therapy sessions twice a week and submit to random drug testing 3 times a week. Brown has also been in custody since March, and being arrested after being kicked out of rehab for saying he's good with guns and knives. This is not a game of truth or truth, people. He's throwing rocks through his mama's window and saying that he's good with guns and knives. So we're going to try to see how Chris will spin this whole situation around. And his song is still doing good on radio. I don't think his album is ever going to come out. I have a prediction that he's going to actually go in the studio and re-scrap this whole album and do some more stuff, because this album has been long overdue. Exactly. So we're going to see how this whole situation plays out with him and Chris Brown and stuff like that. Another person that we're going to talk about too, speaking of Chris Brown, Rihanna. Now, Rihanna, we're going to, she has been on Instagram as of late because she got kicked off of Instagram for posting those pictures on Instagram of her new cover spread on LUI magazine overseas. And because it bears her nipples on the cover, she took it upon herself to keep posting the picture and posting reposts of the fans' pictures after Instagram told her to take it down for kicking her off one time. She reappeared on Instagram, but then it got taken right back off again. So we're going to miss Rihanna, because we're going to miss the clapbacks at certain fans, her calling people Billy Goats and saying, look at one picture, look at the other, pick one thing that's wrong with the picture. We're going to miss her classic shade towards other people and stuff like that. So we're going to miss Rihanna on Instagram. So we're going to hold a commemorative service for her at church tomorrow. We're going to ask, why we're just going to pray for her forgiveness so she can get back on Instagram real quick. And another person too we're going to talk about right before we close the show, because we only have a couple of minutes, people. Beyonce, Kelly Rowland. Now, Beyonce went to Costa Rica with her sister Kelly Rowland to kind of have like a little pre-wedding celebration in a sense, because her sister Kelly said that she wasn't going to have a big wedding and stuff like that. So they were over in Costa Rica, and they brought along poor Michelle too, and they basically might be getting married sooner than later. So that's good for Calendria. You know, Calendria finding love and stuff like that. I hope she gets.
Well, yes. Well, I hope that she'll fall in love, get married, stay in love, and stay married. So.
The thing about this whole situation, though, she married her manager, and we saw what happened to A. Marie. It just doesn't end well. So, I mean, A. Marie doesn't have an album out. She got dropped from Def Jam.
And probably will never have another album out.
No. She tried to be a part of the Illuminati by adding the extra I in her name. It's just a lot of foolishness. But we're going to keep Calendria prayed up to in spirits and stuff like that. So,
and then before we go, we do have to say goodbye to Jet Magazine.
Oh, yes. I should have saw that coming.
After 63 years of being in business, they will no longer print anymore or have any more printed issues. What they will do is they're going to shift over to like a digital issue, and you can still obtain the digital issue, but you'll have to obtain it through just website and or the paid apps. They do have an app that you have to pay for, and so then once a year they will. Just once a year, they will print like a printed issue, and it'll be called the Best of Jet. So you know, I'm so sad to see Jet go. You know, the bigger question is what's going to happen to our grandma and auntie's coffee tables. You know, that is
exactly. I was just thinking about that too, because I'm going to go to my grandma's house tomorrow here in Philly, and she be having all the Jet magazines real decent because she can still get them mailed to her after all these years. She got like basements full of Jet magazines, so she's going to get some money because this going to be worth money now, so she got money. But, so that's Jet Magazine, people. So we got, and also before we close, I got to give a shout out to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day. It is midnight, so it is Sunday. Happy Mother's Day, Mom, Grandma. Happy Mother's Day to you, Monique.
Thank you.
All the mothers out there, even if you're thought in ways like Mimi, you're still a good mom because you're providing for your child, even if you're showing what that mouth do. So happy Mother's Day to everyone. And we will check y'all out next week. Thank you all for tuning in to our two-part show tonight, people, on Saturday. And we just appreciate you all for listening every week. And we will check y'all next week, same time, same place. Well, on Friday, of course, but same time, 11 p.m., people. So thank y'all for tuning in. We will have a safe weekend.
Good night, people.
Good night, everyone.